great game. So let's kick over to our commentators, who are, of course, Andrea Lane and Daniel Routledge.
Thank you very much, Ali. It's great to be here. The observant of you at home may notice Andre's come dressed as a coach today, but I promised him faithfully I wouldn't mention the 21-point hammering he had in the game before this. Hey, so we'll get straight into this game, Andre. Big game, big crowd. It's a super day.
You got to really enjoy this game tonight. What you have is a team that is on course to make history, and you got a team that historically do not end up the end of the season without a championship.
That's exactly the thing. Let's get straight into the team rosters for the big championship final. We will start off with the favorites, the Chester Jets. They may have 10 on the list. Probably only 6 of them will see court time. Dave Gardner looking to complete his set as well with the championship trophy medal. He'll be the only guy surely coming off the bench.
And I'm sure when he comes off the bench, he'll only accumulate 6 minutes in total at the end of the 40 if this game just plays regular 40 minutes. But once again, no change to the list. The same 5 guys will carry this game out.
Let's see those 5 guys in their starting lineup. We've got the Player of the Year, John Thomas. Third best was Calvin Davis. This team is stacked.
They can score from every single position. And the thing is, you have to find out a way to stop these 5 players.
All 5 can score 30 on any given night. Let's have a look at the team returning to the championship final for the 2nd year in a row, the Westfield Sharks Sheffield. And these guys go a lot longer down the bench.
And not only that, Chris Finch loves to play his team, and he's got confidence in all 10 guys. What they will be out to be looking to prove a point tonight and that is turn over the result that they got against the Leicester Riders last year.
Let's have a look at the starting 5 for the Sharks. We've got Monaco and Ryan King, an athletic but not a big front line for the Sharks, and some pretty quick goals.
But I like the way how his front line, they can play from the 3 to 4 and the 5 position. Nobody is a designated 5-man. But I think the key to this game, Jeff Monaco has to have a big-time game running the point guard slot.
The Sheffield Sharks have to shoot the ball well, in my opinion, if they are going to upset the odds and deny this week. The championship final is underway for 2002, and the Sheffield Sharks will get the opening offense. Justin Phoenix, a finalist with Birmingham a couple of years ago, slipping through the middle, gets it to Scantlebury. Back to Phoenix. The first shot of the game is good for the Sheffield Sharks.
And I think Chris Finch has told Justin Phoenix to attack the basket. Notice how he got that ball and just went straight to the basket, slipped, but then looked to shoot the ball once he received it back from Pete Scants.
Dumped down to Hamilton. He's guarded by Ryan King. He's got a height advantage, but of course James Hamilton has been playing most of the season with an ankle injury, which he will have an operation on as soon as the season finishes.
Once again, great coaching tactics, but from Chris Finch, sends his smaller man against the injured,
James Hamilton.
James Hamilton.
Stewart attacking the basket through his hands. There is a whistle on the play, the first foul of the game, and the Sheffield fans quick to their feet to applaud a very ordinary foul. I guess they were listening to, there wasn't much in that foul either. They were listening to what Nick Nurse was saying before he went to play Chester in the semi-finals is, you need some whistles to go your way to get these guys in foul trouble.
And the only way you can do that is by driving to the basket.
Sheffield hit on their opening 2 offenses to lead by 5.
And so said, so done. The point guard, Jeff Monaco, needs to have a big game tonight, and so far has answered my question.
Lobbed inside to Cameron, who's got Scantlebury. Cameron, there aren't too many people can match up with Cameron because he's sheer size, and he can shoot the 3 as well.
Not only that, he's 6'7", but he's just so wide and difficult to get around.
Scantlebury's 3 is Sheffield's first miss of the game. Thomas coming quickly, fires over Ryan King. Tough shot, tipped home by Calvin Davis. Sheffield got the first 5 points. Chester have replied with 4 straight.
Right now, I think, really, Sheffield are looking to actually run at Chester Jets, and Leonard Stewart comes up there with violation with the travel on the outside.
Yeah, he was a little bit too quick looking to run on that occasion. Didn't get the ball down.
But you can see Sheffield's game plan. Let's attack them in the paint area. Let's put some pressure on them on the inside and try and get some whistles.
Yeah, and even if you don't get some whistles, you might get some easy looks. Cameron lobbed inside to Hamilton. Here's the height advantage. Ryan King playing some good defense, though. The shot didn't go. Thomas with the rebound. Thomas creates the contact and draws the foul, and that is what Chris Finch is arguing on the sideline. John Thomas moving into Reinking to create the contact.
Yes, he did. I was just about to say excellent defensive job by Nate Reinking, taking away the penetration lane of John Thomas. Took away the penetrating lane. John Thomas initiate the contact, which shouldn't be a foul. However, referee thought different. Roger Harrison thought different.
Well, I read something Nick Nurse said in a paper earlier this week. You got to watch for John Thomas doing that, trying to make the contact, and then he'll fall to the ground, and the referee will think, well, he must be fouled because he fell to the ground. Nick actually counted. He fell to the ground 16 times in one day. And
Nick, knowing Nick, he went home and watched that game and counted it until 3 o'clock in the morning.
We are level at 5. 2 minutes into the championship final, the number 1 and 2 records in the country. Sheffield were tied with Towers and Brighton on 21 and 11, but they did beat Towers and Brighton 3-1 in their head-to-head meetings and had a better record in all competitions. So these are the top 2 teams. Thomas's 3 doesn't go. Davis backs it out to the halfway line, and John McCall.
And that's the key to playing John Thomas. You must take away the penetrating lanes and force him to knock down shots from the outside. Yes, he can do it, but he's more dangerous when he drives inside the paint.
Hamilton going at Reinking, and to me that's the same play that they called a foul on Reinking for Thomas. They didn't call it that time.
And when you're like 5'7", people tend to give you the sympathy
feel sorry
votes.
for you, yeah. Monaco for another 3, that's off the mark, and Hamilton is quickest to it. Hamilton to McCall. Cameron dances in the middle to the finger roll, doesn't go. Rebound, Nate Reinking.
Now this is a situation that Sheffield really need to take advantage of, a fast break situation with the Chester Jets slow getting back in transition.
Stewart to the basket, draws the foul going inside. We have played almost 3.5 minutes, and on the sideline, Tony Gobeletta, coach of the Newcastle Eagles. What have you made of the opening exchanges?
Well, I mean, you know, it's interesting with the matchup of Reinking on Hamilton. You know, that is a real mismatch in size and strength. So we've got to look possibly for Chris Finch. He's got a big, long bench. Todd Cawthorn coming in possibly, and then rotating Reinking and Monaco in the same spot. That gives them a big lineup and helps them on the boards.
It's a good point. Leonard Stewart misses both from the line there. It's a good point that Tony Gobeletta made. It's been one of the problems playing against Chester is they don't play an orthodox 5. They've got 4 forwards and a guard, and you always have mismatch problems if you go with 2 guards.
But what has happened is, as Monaco comes up with a nice-looking mid-range jump shot, what's happened is the mismatch is obvious to everybody in the arena, as we see here, nice little pull-up, and knocks down the 2. It's obvious to everybody in the arena where the mismatch is, and it's also obvious to the Sheffield players. And what they're doing is they're doubling down and helping out the smaller players that are matched up against James Hamilton.
And that will be a traveling violation on Peter Scantlebury with a little bit of help from Cameron. He ensured that Scantlebury couldn't get the ball down, and both coaches very, very animated on the sideline with every single whistle.
And I'll tell you what, just 4 minutes gone, and these 2 coaches used up a hell of a lot of energy. Usually they'll save it for like the 3rd and 4th quarter.
3 turnovers in the game so far, all by Sheffield. Cameron, his first 3 of the game.
And that's the danger about playing the zone against Chester. You have to be aware of where the shooters are, and the shooters come in on a likely package, such as Kuro Cameron.
Yeah, there isn't a guy on the team that can't shoot it from the 3-point line. Not on the starting 5 anyway. Stewart out to Phoenix. Reinking will try for 3. That is short, but there is Scantlebury. No, Thomas stepped on the line. It'll be a Sheffield ball.
Still possession to Westfield Sharks, Sheffield.
End line ball. Jeff Monaco will back. Lob to Reinking. Reinking penetrating. Little floater short, but gets the bobble. No, he doesn't, but Stewart was there to stick it back.
And to me, you must keep putting the pressure on Chester on the inside. Driving the lane, they come up with a short jump shot, but Leonard Stewart alertly attacks the backboard and gets himself an offensive rebound.
Ball goes into the backcourt. John Thomas will bring it back over the line. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Thomas drives, kicks out to McCord. McCord with the jumper in the corner. I remember when he first came into the league, people said he couldn't make that shot.
Yeah,
Boy, is he good at it now.
and this is what I keep talking about, taking away that penetrating lane, because if he doesn't shoot, he'll find the open person. I'm talking about John Thomas.
Phoenix dumps into Scantlebury. Phoenix, his shot doesn't go. Another attempt with Monaco off the glass. Stewart with the offensive rebound. Still they keep going, and there's a foul inside on Calvin Davis. That'll be his first, but good offensive rebounding from the Sharks.
Chris Finch has got to be pleased the way how his team are attacking the boards. Yes, they're missing. However, with 5 offensive boards already, they keep going at the basket and putting the pressure on Chester, and eventually that whistle that they're after comes.
Yeah, it's okay if you're going to miss shots as long as you get the rebound. Here's Leonard Stewart at the line again. After a career game in the semi-finals, normal service has resumed from the charity stripe for Leonard Stewart.
Well, I hope not, because yeah, if the whistle keeps going as many times as it is already, he's going to need those free throws to fall, because he's going to be spending a lot of time there tonight.
He's 0 of 4. McCord out on the break, looking for some trails, doesn't need them, fires up, counted for John Thomas. And one thing John McCord, sorry, not John Thomas, one thing McCord has always been very good at is finishing off plays. Always finds a way to put the ball in the hole.
Yeah, he's just a scorer. He knows how to score. Didn't have no way. They came back down late and double team. Felt the contact, threw anything up, and he manages to fall for it. But as you said, he makes those shots consistently, and he's fortunate to get an extra free throw.
Yeah, Leonard Stewart was in there way too early. He knew he was in too early. I guess he was hoping that he might score so that they wouldn't get to take it again. But McCord misses the second time, though. Scantlebury to Leonard Stewart. Monaco dumps down inside to Phoenix. Phoenix off the glass, doesn't go, gets his own rebound, saves it to Stewart. Stewart attacking, losing the ball, coming back on block by Davis. Stewart comes down with it again, to the finger roll, still doesn't go. Foul is on the floor, I think it's Leonard Stewart. Yeah, it is.
Yeah, because now Chris Finch is kind of upset because he felt his players were bumped at least a couple of times on their move. But what I like about Sheffield is they're putting pressure on Chester on the inside. Here we go, look back at it again. Nice, strong rebound by Perot Cameron. Leonard Stewart falling to the floor, pulls Perot with him, and that's an obvious foul.
Sheffield with 7 offensive rebounds already in the game.
I tell you, with them crashing the boards, what this does is, fatigue-wise, this will wear on Chester because they will have to work that much harder to secure rebounds.
Hamilton drives to the basket, doesn't get the shot to go. Leonard Stewart with the rebound. Monaco is coming quickly to Scantlebury. Scantlebury attacks the basket, dumps out to Phoenix. Phoenix now attacking. Monaco, that'll be worth 3 straight from Jeff Monaco.
And once again, this shot was created by penetration in the paint. Jeff Monaco wide open, knocks down the 3.
Thomas running it. Oh, he came back up with it. Not quite sure how Thomas came back.
Violation?
Yeah. Sheffield with 2 threes in a hurry. Puts them up.
That's a nice transition basket and obviously a confidence booster for the bomb squad of Sheffield, who have struggled of late.
Sheffield coming out 3 of 6 here from downtown. That's the one distance they have shot the ball well for.
Take your seat, big guy. Take your seat. Listen, that's all right. Listen, where we had our success, we bring the ball down, we move the ball 3-4 times, okay, and then we'll get something. Okay, if you're in the open court and you can go to the basket, fine. But once they're all back, then we'll go into our team, okay? Go fist. Go fist.
Well, before the game, Andre, we were discussing the keys to the game. Here are the keys to the game for the Chester Jets. Just explain for us what you mean by that.
Now, what Coach was just talking about their fast breaks. If you don't get anything on a fast break, we must move the ball around, which brings us to our second point, controlling the inside. Because when they move, everybody's so concerned about the guys on the outside that they can penetrate, dump down, and get the easy scores that they're accustomed to getting. And also, the third point I feel is the most important one, which Sheffield are doing a great job of right now, shooting the ball. They must contest the shooters on the outside.
Well, You're saying they must control the shooters on the outside. Here's an example where Davis is just a little bit too late getting there, and Sheffield, as I said, 3 of 6 from behind the arc.
And they're focused right now. You can tell they've been putting up a lot of shots during practice this week, and right now it's showing.
TC Todd Cawthorne wearing 14 on the floor for the first time for Westfield.
Todd Cawthorne comes in. Now, he's a better man to match up with Cameron for the height, but Cameron has the quick step. I think Cawthorne not quite got his game legs yet.
Yeah, not only that, though, you haven't got your game legs, so what you do is you get back in front of the person and take away the penetrating lane, because there's no way that Perot Cameron should be able to beat. Here we go again. Late getting into the spot, easy foul for Todd Cawthorne.
That's a great move by Perot Cameron. Tony Garboletto, he's a player you like the look of.
Well, to be honest with you, Daniel, you know, he's the X factor in any big Chester win. He's just a fantastic player. He does all the little things you might not see on the score sheet, but he is a big, big game player, and I wouldn't be surprised if he's the one that makes the big plays to win this game.
He certainly made the big plays to win the trophy final last year when he was the MVP. He's the leading scorer on his team here today with 7, and there he is coming up with a defensive steal.
Yeah, the bad pass by Todd Cawthorne.
Cawthorne perhaps not quite in the game yet. Cameron for 3 that time, it didn't go, but McCord with the offensive rebound goes strong. And then soft hands gets a soft bounce.
And that brings Chester to their 4th offensive rebound here, with John McCourt coming up with the easy one.
And the key thing to that is they've got 7 points off their 4 rebounds. Sheffield have 7 offensive rebounds, have only 2. Cawthorne has really struggled to get into the game here since he's come in.
Wow, he's come in, and one thing you want of your substitutes, you want them to come into the basketball game and keep the intensity and keep the pressure up. So far, last 3 times down the floor, been a foul, a turnover, then 2 turnovers by Todd Cawthorne.
Yeah, Sheffield have coughed the ball up way too many times in the opening going. There's Cawthorne not quite coming down with a rebound.
And that was a rebound that he should have had. A little bit of pressure over the back from a Chester player, but once again, you box out, you secure that rebound.
Thomas gets it into Hamilton.
Job by Sheffield defending that out-of-bounds play.
Hamilton to the basket, doesn't get it. Another offensive rebound for Chester, kicked out to Davis. Cameron.
Good job. That's a much better job by Todd Cawthorne. He doesn't have to rush him. All he has to do is take away the penetrating lane, give him a little bit of ball pressure.
Robbie Pearce very unhappy with that call. He didn't think it got a touch.
I haven't seen him that red since he started coaching 3 years ago.
He really went after it there. Does it get a tip? It's hard to see. No, but did it touch Thomas?
Did it touch Thomas, yeah.
That's the question. It was hard to see from there. It might have. Here's Cawthorne. Skip pass round to Monaco. McKinney. Cawthorne with the jump shot, doesn't go, but there's Payne for the rebound. Fighting to go up for the shot, and there's a foul underneath. Couldn't see who it was. It must have been Thomas, as he's the smallest one there.
See, missed shot here. Got the rebound by Mike Payne and the obvious slap on the arm from John Thomas. Remember what you've been speaking about for the season. You raise the arm and swing it back down, you're always going to hear a whistle.
Sheffield yet to convert from the line, although to be fair to them, it's Leonard Stewart who it's been so far.
Now, I don't expect the whistle to be blown that often with this starting line, with this lineup in for Sheffield on the floor right now, because you haven't really got any of the players that like to beat people off the dribble. Most of these guys are either postmen, with Leonard Stewart probably is the only one, but everybody else are like spot-up shooters. Or Todd Cawthorne likes to post up on the inside. So this might be a little bit of a break for Chester.
McKinney guarding Hamilton. Big height advantage for Hamilton. They're trying to post him up, but they can't get him the ball, Chester. Davis is blocked by Stewart. Stewart and Davis showing why they're 1 and 2 in shot blocks in the league this season, but Davis keeps with it.
It's much easier to block a shot closer in than it is from three-point range.
In the corner is Monaco. Monaco, quick release, 3. Oh! Yet again from downtown. Make that 3 of 4 for Monaco. He leads all scorers with 11.
I said he had to have a big game, and so far he is really stepping up to the plate and shooting the ball extremely well.
Chester running it down.
Good defensive job.
Still Thomas. Running into trouble, out to Hamilton. Hamilton for three, does not go. And we've reached the end of the first quarter with the score. Chester Jets 20, Sheffield 19.
What I feel about Sheffield, they're doing a really good defensive job, taking away the penetrating lanes and doing a good job. However, once again, John Thomas's penetration, that's what creates a lot of opportunities for Chester. As we see here, penetration, kick out to the wide open John McCord, and he cans an easy one. But that was earlier in the game. So far, Sheffield have done a good job of making the adjustments, and now they're doing a better job defensively.
John McCord will knock that shot down all day. A very good opening period to the championship final. It's the Jets who lead by one. We'll be back after this.
A blend of exotic fruit juice with a cutting edge of vodka. Blend the rules.
Attention! Men! All set for the maneuvers! Well set! You take the infantry! Metcalf, you're in charge of the artillery! Dudley, you could be the enemy aircraft!
But Sergeant, I'm not a pilot. I don't have a license.
What, Dudley? Refusing to obey an order when I say fly, you fly!
Yes, Sergeant, sir.
Good, that's more like it. Now it's out to the canteen for Operation Red Bull!
Oh, Red Bull. Now I understand.
About time. And what's the password?
So it's Red Bull gives you wings.
Mix Gordon's with pleasure.
Welcome back to Wembley Arena. Jeff Monaco with the hot hand in the first quarter, 3 of 4 3-pointers. He's already got 3 threes. The record in the championship final is 5, so he's well on his way to a championship final record. But if he shoots the ball that well throughout, Sheffield are going to have a really good chance in this game.
Yes, they are, and that opens up everything on the inside for the likes of Justin Phoenix, Peter Scanterbury, and Leonard Stewart. And Justin Phoenix comes up with a cheap one in the open floor on John Thomas. Both players both going for the basketball. John Thomas ending up on the wrong end of it.
Yeah, I think if it was John McCord and Justin Phoenix going with it,
would have been called,
Phoenix might have knocked the ball away from him, but unfortunately Thomas is so much shorter that whenever you go for it, you tend to take his head off. Thomas looking to penetrate, dumps out, Cameron wide open for 3, Cameron, you leave him on his own there and let him plant his feet, it's as good as good.
And not only that, you want to take away the penetration lanes from John Thomas, you want to close the lanes, but you must recover out to the shooters.
Phoenix out to McKinney. Stewart almost had it stolen away by Hamilton. Out to Monaco, struggled to catch it that time. Here's Payne, open for 3. McCord dives out and then 2 late. Mike Payne strokes the 5th 3 of the game by the Sheffield Sharks.
And Billy Mims said at the top of the show, the bomb squad will come to play today, and so far, they are just knocking them down.
Oh, what a block from Leonard Stewart. John McCord was having a few words with Mike Payne on that previous one, so he wanted to take it at him, but Leonard Stewart helped out with a block. Look at this. Wanted to go at Payne. Stewart from behind threw it out.
Yeah, that was good weak side help. Going back to the bomb squad, 5 of 8, 62% from the 3-point line thus far.
That'll be a jump ball. I think it's Phoenix and Davis will contest it.
Justin Phoenix picks out on the floor.
Jeff Monaco getting a very good round of applause from the Sheffield fans off behind their bench as he sits down. He's replaced by Nate Reinking, 11 points off 3 of 4 from 3-point land for Jeff Monaco.
And I feel that Jeff has played better, much better as the season's gone on. He had a lot of injuries early. He struggled when he first got to the league, but now he's finding his footing. He is really playing to the potential of the player that Chris Finch initially recruited.
Ryan King to Stewart. Stewart. Oh! Stewart absolutely threw it down on Perot Cameron. And
oh my goodness! Took Perot Cameron to ring in the backboard with it. Great disc from Ryan King and just sheer power, because that's what you need to get past Perot Cameron. And Leonard Stewart finishes with a dynamic dunk. And after that, he let Perot Cameron know all about it.
He did. That is foul number 2 on Cameron. I know it's early to be talking about foul trouble, but with the Chester Jets, you've got to keep your eye on things like that.
And
He's gone to the bench. Dave Gardner comes in. Will it come all the way out? Yeah, Sheffield come down with it.
And I tell you what, one thing is, Leonard Stewart going to the free throw line. Sheffield Sharks know, hey, we got to rebound the miss.
Yeah. Ryan King out to Payne. To Stewart. Wide open, Nate Ryan King for 3, no. Dave Gardner going after it, comes down with the rebound. He's come in for Cameron on 2 fouls. Thomas quickly to the basket. Ryan King stood his ground, charging foul, wave off the score. John Thomas's whistle for his 2nd foul of the game.
Yeah, what happened once again, Nate Ryan King beat him to the spot. The whole thing about defending John Thomas, take away the penetrating lane. Now, he's beaten one Sheffield player, and Nate Ryan King literally takes away the penetrating game, initiates the contact charge.
That's the problem. If you do initiate contact on a regular basis, you will get called for a charge time to time. Oh, Bernard Stewart inside for 2. This is a good spell for the Sheffield Sharks.
Really doing a good job pushing the ball down the floor.
Foul caught on James Hamilton. I thought it was out. From where I was sat, it looked like it might have been the other way around. But McKinney's been called for holding Hamilton. It looked to me like Hamilton shoved him off, but there you go.
Now, McKinney, he doesn't need to hold. He knows that help is on the way. All he has to do is defend, and he knows that he's going to get some kind of help from his teammates.
McCord trying to back down Stewart. Oh, strong move from John McCord. Twice a championship finalist. He's yet to win one, though. Desperate to get one here at the 3rd attempt. Mike Payne, Justin Phoenix. Stumbling through the middle is called for the walk.
That was good. What happened is Justin turned, faced the basket, tripped up on the move, which caused the travel. Turns and face, knows he can beat Dave Gardner. Literally rubs rubs legs with Dave Gardner, causing the trip.
Might have been hoping he might get a foul out of that one. Justin Phoenix. It would have been a little harsh on Dave Gardner, I think. Lobbed in to McCord, broken up. McKinney saves it, but only to Thomas. Shot clock still ticking down, though. Foul on Mike Payne, just leaning across into that shot.
Now, what's happening is, they know, once again, Sheffield did a good job initially of reading the mismatch and reading the lob pass. McKinney fails to save it to his own team player. Once again, John Thomas driving that lane, initiating contact, and will go to the free throw line for a couple.
John Thomas hits the first. Well, both teams have had, this will be the 7th shot for Chester from the line. Sheffield have had 7. And it's 5 of 7 against 1 of 7. We have a 1-point ball game, 3 minutes into the 2nd quarter. Confirmation of the foul shooting. Tony Garboletto, how is Sheffield going to win this game?
Well, I certainly think that the way the tempo and the way the game is going at the moment, they can win it because it's scrappy. There's no continuity to it. Chester have not got out or got any transition baskets. They're not in a flow on the three-point line. Although the game's very close still, you know, it's not that type of run or spurt game that Chester like. So I think Sheffield are in a nice position as it is at the moment.
That's a really good point by Tony G there. There has been almost no transition going from right to left as we look at it from the Chester Jets.
And that's how Chester like to play it, up-tempo, up and back with their fast breaks.
Now's a chance maybe, but there are still 4 shots back already, so Thomas slows it a little bit, gets it to Cameron. McCord, 19-foot jumper, really does shoot the ball very well from distance, John McCord.
Yeah, he has wonderful size, athletic body, and is the ability also to knock down the open J's. And when you've got 4 big men at 6'7" plus that can do that, it makes them very difficult to defend.
Stewart backing his man down, out to Ryan King. Ryan King penetrates, dumps off to Phoenix. Phoenix challenge and one. A very soft foul from Calvin Davis, almost like he tried to bail out of it, and he becomes the third Chester Jet to pick up 2 fouls.
And that was a good move by Justin. Felt the contact, but what he did was held his concentration. Forget about the foul, just concentrate on making the shot. And Justin did a pretty good job of that, because the last 2 times down the floor, he had the turnover, and he also lost the ball off his foot.
Well, the foul count, I think, has been dead level all the way through the game. And yet, Chester find themselves with 3 guys on 2 fouls. That's the problem. When you don't go deep, you can't spread the fouls about, as Sheffield have done.
And maybe this might be the game that Chester Jets and coach Robbie Pears will be forced to use that bench.
Davis for 3. Calvin Davis. We were talking about big guys stepping out and shooting. There's another one.
Here we go. Penetration again, late in the contesting of the shot, and able to knock down the open one.
Ryan King, his 3 is long. It's kicked out to McCord. McCord against Ryan King. McCord to the finger roll. Doesn't matter what you do, John McCord will always finish off a fast break. And suddenly, a couple of plays, and they open up a 6-point lead to Jets.
Yeah, momentum has swung for the Chester Jets. And right now, they're doing a good job. And why they've got the lead is because they're now able to get their transition basketball going.
Here, adjust your down here, okay? Let's go special. You're at the 4. All right, who else I got? Mike, you're in there. Let's run special, okay? Let's run special. Let's get to the hoop now. Okay, let's see if we can get to the hoop. When we put the ball inside, this block's too crowded, okay? I know we're trying to post and duck in on this side. We got to give that guy a chance to make a move first, all right? We're getting good shots. Don't worry about them.
Well, we've had a look at the keys that we think to winning the game for Chester. Let's have a look at the keys here for Sheffield, Andre.
Well, we've spoken about these 5 players for the duration of the season, and you have to do an excellent job of defending those 5 players wherever they are on the floor. They must shoot well and they're open in the zone to basically get Chester out of the zone, and they've done an excellent job of doing that because Chester are now playing the man-to-man. And also the final point, Leonard Stewart must have a big game on the inside, putting pressure on the big men of Chester, and so far he's done an excellent job because he's managed to draw some fouls on the big men.
He has. He's got 6 points. He's got 3 offensive boards, so he really has made Chester's inside players think about him. Mike Payne out to Scantlebury for 3. Off the back of the ring, Cameron is quickest to it.
Peter Scantlebury can knock it down from on the outside, unable to connect on that shot. McCord.
Will that count? It doesn't go anyway, so it doesn't matter. Foul is on Ryan King, I believe.
And that's the thing.
It's Monaco, is it?
And that's the thing about Scantlebury in that foul. Now, what has happened is Peter Scantlebury was late coming down to help out in the penetration. Once again, McCord taking advantage of the slower, smaller Mike Payne on the inside.
No, I was right first time. It was Ryan King.
I was right.
Just things to confuse me there. It was Nate Ryan King. It was his second. He joins Justin Phoenix on that mark. There are 3 Jets. Davis, Thomas, Cameron on 2. Midway through the second. Chester now 7 straight points to lead by 8. Sheffield need a score here, I think. Wouldn't want to get double digits down, not having played reasonably well. Stewart to the goal 10 by Calvin Davis as he tried to prevent the ball from going in the basket. Once it's going down above the cylinder, you can't tip it away, and that one was above the cylinder.
Heads up play, Leonard Stewart driving to that basket. And defensively, Chester have got to know that Leonard Stewart really will take jump shots from out there. So the same thing applies to him. Take away the penetrating lane and force him to give that ball up to somebody else.
Leonard Stewart's second foul. So now both teams with 3 guys on 2 fouls.
Now, what I'm surprised at, Richard Windle hasn't been used that often in the qualifying rounds, the quarterfinals, the semifinals, and here in the early going. And you'd think with all the big men that they have on the Chester team, and you're trying to rack up fouls, the last thing you want to do is end up with your main players on fouls also. And I just haven't heard of any injuries to do with Richard Windle.
Calvin Davis misses the second there, so it's only a 7-point lead. Sheffield then trailing by 7. Tony Garboletta, what do you make of it?
Well, I'm just a little bit more concerned for Sheffield now, just on a possession like this, where they come up short on a shot. One more three-pointer, a couple more baskets in a row for Chester, and this game's getting out of hand because Sheffield don't really have a team that can make runs. They don't score points in lots and lots of bunches. What they do, they beat you by consistent basketball, by penetrating, kicking, hitting open shots. So it's a situation that anytime soon, if Sheffield don't get some consistency and some stops, this game could get a little bit out of hand.
Yeah, the last team you want to be in a hole to is Chester Jets, because mentally Chester don't believe you can come from behind to beat them.
And they play with so much confidence when they get up to those double-digit leads. As you said, no matter how many runs you make, they will always do something to just kill your run. Whether it be a three-pointer, whether it be a big dunk, whether it be one of the John Thomas, I'll carry the team on my back for 2 minutes routines. They just always find a way to just keep you at arm's length.
There's the foul shooting. That doesn't help when you go 1 for 8, but bear in mind, Leonard Stewart's taken 5 of those.
Not only that, I think Chris Finch has read that his team needs some kind of offensive productivity and has sent Justin Phoenix back in the basketball game.
Here is Phoenix. Shot clock running down. Ryan King off the screen. Got to let it go. Got to shoot it. Phoenix, don't think he did. Don't think he did. It went in. The referee said no straight away. And even Chris Finch's protest was muted there because he was pretty sure that was not in time.
He was trying to get a lucky break on that 3 because Sheffield really did need it. 24-second shot clock violation gives the ball straight back to Chester.
Off Calvin Davis's hands.
And Leonard Stewart got away with a little bump in the back. And Will Jones, a veteran, seasoned veteran, and he's always gonna, if he's gonna blow a foul, he's gonna make sure there's blood on the floor before he blows his whistle.
3:46 on the first half clock. It's 39-30. The Chester Jets lead it. They call a timeout.
Listen. Okay, if we want to put the ball in the post, not here, you've got to dribble. Okay, and then it's an easy pass. That's a tough one. Just dribble, create the angle, because that's where we want the ball. They're in trouble. Keep attacking, okay? Defensively, okay, keep rotating, keep switching, keep talking. Important that you three don't pick up your 3rd foul. We don't need it. Okay? Let's go, fellas. Come on.
Well, the Chester fans are here in great numbers. They've been singing an awful lot. What a season they've had to enjoy.
And I'll tell you what, from the whipping boys of the league a couple of seasons ago, and down to, what, 4 trophies over the last couple of seasons, and a possible fifth.
There's the shooting statistics in the game. It's even except for the foul shooting. And the 9 points that separate the teams are the 9 points that Chester have got from the line.
And I'll tell you what, they need to rack up to try and see if they can get another one of these big men to pick up their 3rd foul.
Ranking for 2.
That's a good idea by Nate Ryken. He dribble penetrated, the lane was closed off, but he poured in for a nice close-in jump shot. Nice mid-range game this guard has got. Can knock it down from outside, 15 foot. Edge of the key area makes him very effective. Good defensive job.
Jeff Monaco called for the hold. That's his 2nd. The thing about Ranking is he has such a high arcing shot. Makes him very difficult to stop because he has the ability to get the ball over most hands. In fact, there's another look at the foul. It was mentioned to me by a Sheffield fan that Nate Ranking probably has the highest arcing shot in the league, and Leonard Stewart probably the lowest. If they can find some sort of mid-range there, Leonard Stewart might make some free throws.
Yeah. And this would be a 2-point basketball game.
Yep. John Thomas, not from the line though. He goes there as Sheffield have committed 7 fouls to 3 in this quarter. I was about to say misses them both, but he got a nice bounce over the front of the ring on that one. Takes it up to 8 points.
Chester doing a good job inside, switching whenever they can. There's a mismatch on the opposite side with John Thomas and Leonard Stewart.
Scanterbury driving to the hole. Davis just moving out of the way, listening to his coach. Don't pick up that third foul.
And I tell you what, if they're coaching, you might as well keep driving to the basket and try and get level this ball game or take the lead going into the half.
Hamilton
Dip that shoulder. He dipped the shoulder.
Offensive foul on James Hamilton. He's the fourth Chester Jet onto 2.
Yeah, that's one of the things that will always happen. You drive and you dip the shoulder here, make the contact. That is always an offensive foul. Here we go. Beats him, dips that shoulder. Now, had he just risen and came up with a jump hook, no foul.
Jeff Monaco came into this quarter 3 of 5 from behind the arc. Still is. Hasn't taken one yet. Lobbed inside to Phoenix, to Scanterbury. Scanterbury sells the fake foul on Davis. And one. That is foul number 3 on Calvin Davis.
Now, this is a good move by Justin Phoenix. Grabs the ball in a good position, but his defender was on the floor. Turns over his shoulder and finds a cutting Pete Scanterbury, who catches, uses his body, draws the foul, and gets himself an N1 opportunity.
Having done so well to get out of the way of the last one, Calvin Davis kind of got caught up in the air there, and he goes to the bench. Normally, any other team, I'd say we won't see him again until the second half, but you never know with Robbie Pearce.
I'll tell you what, Robbie, he's coached a phenomenal season. And some of the moves that he's made has even made my heart stop. Like I said, definitely a gambling man.
But Sheffield here have hauled this one back down to 3 with 5 consecutive points. Thomas penetrates, pulls up, and scores. Tough shot in Troutman.
You've got to make John Thomas shoot the ball from the outside. Can't allow him to get into the paint area. He'll kill you by feeding his teammates or coming up with that mid-range game that he has.
Phoenix drives, dumps out to Scanterbury. Reinking now, penetrating, dumps down. Good ball movement, and eventually they find an easy score in Leonard Stewart.
And this is all made off the penetration.
Back to a 3-point game.
McCord falling, loses it. Stewart comes up with it. Stewart off and running. Still Leonard Stewart. He's looking for some help. He might not need it. He finds it now in the shape of Monaco. To Reinking. Reinking penetrates. Little pull-up floater is short. Phoenix with the tip. And we have ourselves a 1-point ball game.
Once again, penetrate, kick, crash the basket, crash the backboard, and Justin Phoenix and Peter Scanterbury do just that, with Justin Phoenix coming in with the tap.
McCord, oh, his finger roll comes out. Here comes Sheffield with Phoenix, looking to push, maybe take a lead at halftime. Good dump. Stewart throws it down for a second time, and Sheffield, who were in a big hole only moments ago, lead now by 1.
And I tell you what, the fast breaking and the teamwork, sheer teamwork and determination from Sheffield have got themselves right back into this basketball game. But you watch Chester Jets, as I was saying, Chester Jets coming up with the easy one just to get themselves, keep Sheffield Sharks at arm's length. And this results in Perot Cameron getting the easy 2 points from the free throw line.
Here's the fast break. Phoenix pushing it. They kept moving it, looking for the easy one. Boom! Leonard Stewart threw it down.
And sometimes it's dangerous making that extra pass, especially when you get so close in. You know, players have the tendency of, collecting fouls and stuff. But Justin Phoenix, good body control, finds Leonard Stewart for the easy one.
Pete Scanterbury is having a long conversation with the referee, Will Jones, because he and Cameron were really fighting for position, and he thought he might have been fouled by Cameron before the ball was passed to Pero Cameron. Cameron, when he did get the ball, was then fouled by Scanterbury trying to reach round. But Sheffield, Chester, who shot the ball well from the line in the early going, have struggled a bit here in the last 5 minutes.
And I tell you what, Pete Scanterbury might have a case because the basketball never lies. That's why he missed the first one. Usually he missed the second, but...
Tied at 43. 43 seconds to go in the second quarter. BBL Championship Final, live from Wembley Arena.
Who hasn't made it down courtside for the half-time competition. You can please go on.
And I tell you what, these shooters really need to start spotting up on the outside because there's a lot of open looks when you dump it inside.
Windle has it ripped away. It would have been a violation anyway. They couldn't get the shot off. McCord running it back. they can take the final shot. McCord's wise enough to slow it down.
And Sheffield need to do a good job defensively here. First of all, take away the penetration of John Thomas. Back up, force him to come to you. Give him that three-point shot if you have to. And everybody else has got to recover on the players on the outside.
Hamilton on the buzzer. Yes! James Hamilton puts under pressure on the buzzer, but the Chester Jets go to the locker room only up 2, and with about 3 minutes to go to halftime, you'd have thought they had a bigger lead than this.
Well, they had a 7-point lead a couple of minutes ago, but Sheffield did a great job of, first of all, stopping them defensively, but going down the other end of the floor and penetrating and kicking. Here's a really great sequence from Sheffield Sharks. They move the ball around the floor, they dump it on the inside. You've got the penetration from Justin Phoenix, the kick out, penetration again from Nate Rykin, the dump down to Leonard Stewart, and the easy 2 points on the inside. All created from the penetration into the heart of the defense of the Chester Jets.
Well, that certainly has been a key factor. Chester Jets leading by 2. Robbie Pearce is with Simon.
Well, Robbie, tight, close game. How are you going to get it done in the second half?
Yeah, we've got to stop giving them open looks. Monaco's had 3 or 4 3-pointers and he's wide open. We got to close people down. I know we're in a zone, but it's man-to-man principles. We can't give them any open looks. If we can stop their outside shooting and give them tough looks, I think we can get the boards and then we get our break going.
You got out to a big lead, but they seem to weather that particular storm and come back at you.
Yeah, it's a game of runs. We made one, they made one. 2 quality teams, nothing in it.
And always with you guys, you've got to look after those fouls, haven't you?
Yeah, Calvin's on 3. We've got Piro and John Thomas on 2 each. We're going to have to try and protect them. That's why we're in the zone.
OK, go and be with your team. Thank you, Robbie.
Thank you.
So the Chester Jets lead the Westfield Sheffield Sharks 45-43. Stay with us because after this break we'll have top analysis with Billy Mims and Tony Garbaletto. Don't go away.
Hello. When you want a personal loan, you can just go to your bank. But why not see if it's easier, faster and cheaper to call Lombard Direct on 0800 215,000.
Your rate is based on your circumstances and loan amount. Our typical rate is just 8.2% APR.
For an unsecured loan of up to £25,000, call now on 0800 215,000 or apply online at lombarddirect.com.
This is Margaret. When she needed to raise cash from her endowment policy, she didn't surrender it to the life company. She sold it to AAP instead. Richard, on the other hand, surrendered his policy to the life company and now has less money to spend on other things. So, if you're thinking of surrendering your endowment policy, think again. You could get up to 35% more cash by calling AAP.
Call AAP on 0800 072 1905.
A long time ago, the only technology they had at Arsenal was down at the clock end. Now, everything's changed. Highbury's in your home with Arsenal.com. Check out 4 channels of action on AFC TV and Matchday Live. Get instant text updates on the match. An Arsenal show tune is your ringtone. Even club icons. There's official merchandise delivered to your door, star names and plenty of fun for the kids. Plus results, stats, inside news, chat and profiles. It's the official home of Arsenal online. Arsenal.com, your net-busting guide to the Gunners.
Welcome to the cage. 8 teams, quarter-final, first goal wins.
The First Division playoff roller coaster ride starts this Sunday with a mouth-watering double bill. McGee's Millwall play Steve Bruce's Birmingham City.
We're delighted we're in there and we'll give it a right good go.
And then Dave Jones's Wolves travel to Carrow Road to play an informed Norwich City.
We'll do it the hard way, we'll do it the hard way.
Both matches are live and exclusive in a first leg playoff double bill. Sunday from 11:30 on the ITV Sport Channel.
Well, welcome back to Wembley, where we certainly do have an exciting game for you. Chester up by a mere 2 points, and really doesn't get much more level than that, does it?
Can't get tighter, Ali. I mean, for 19 minutes and 59 seconds, It was a tie game. There was nothing in it. James Hamilton hits a shot going into the locker room on the buzzer to give the Jets a 2-point lead.
And indeed, here's the shot right here. A good, strong play as well by Chester, though. They've got their heads screwed on, haven't they, to just take time with the ball, pass it around, and then nail that shot, but with, of course, their captain going into the
What's ironic about it, though, Allie, is the fact that Chester are a run-and-gun team, yet with it all tied at 43 and about 16 seconds left in the half, they stopped running, they backed it up, said, hey, we better sit on this and take the last shot. So they actually went out of their game plan to hit the shot that put them up at the half.
But they have to play smart, don't they? Let's face it.
They do have to play smart, but I think if you look on paper, I think Sheffield are a smarter team than Chester. Chester have better athletes, better scorers, and certainly more big game players. Sheffield have smarter players, better shooters from the perimeter, and more depth.
Well, let's see what the stats have to say, because they never lie. What jumps out for you there, Billy?
Well, if you take a look at it, I mean, both teams have actually shot the ball well. Sheffield shot a little bit better, 51% from the field of 45. But I said in the beginning, three-point shooting by the bomb squad would be a key. They're 5 for 13, but 4 of those 5 they made in the first quarter. So they really cooled off in the second quarter behind the arc.
And indeed, the free throws, Sheffield really are struggling behind Chester, aren't they?
But in fairness, Allie, they're 2 for 9 at the line, and 5 of those misses has come from Leonard Stewart, and we all know the hack-a-shack theory exists there. Leonard has great dunks, but he doesn't make free throws.
Oh, he's had some fantastic dunks, that's right. And certainly in our next lot, maybe the fouls actually, because although Chester are below Sheffield, they really do have to watch on the foul count.
Yeah, it's really kind of, it's funny, as you look at those 9 fouls, all 9 are on key Chester people. Yeah. As we said, we've got Peril Cameron on 2, John Thomas on 2, James Hamilton on 2, and a very critical Calvin Davis, who I think is Chester's best player overall. Calvin Davis got my vote as the player of the year. He's on 3 at the half, so they can't afford to get any more foul trouble, whereas Sheffield, on the other side, have got depth,
They've
so
got the
their
depth
fouls
in the
are
bench.
okay.
Yeah, that's true. Well, you mentioned at the top of the show, certainly, that we were going to see a shooting contest, and basically whoever came out and was hot first, they would be the team that would progress. The three-point shooting, I should say, from both teams, indeed, has been pretty fantastic. Cameron Perro, for one, for Chester, he's thrown up a couple of nice shots, shall we say.
They've shot the ball well, but again, Perro Cameron has hit the only three-point shot. He's made 2 out of 3 three-pointers. Calvin Davis made 1.
That's actually John McCord that we're watching there just now, certainly, yeah. But you're right. I mean, the shooting, he's their top scorer, certainly, John McCord, but the shooting from both teams has been pretty good from behind the arc.
It's been pretty good shooting. Chester don't take a lot of threes, and I have to disagree with Daniel Routledge, because in the first half, Daniel said they got 5 guys that can all shoot it behind the arc. John McCord traditionally does not shoot the ball well from behind the arc. Not a great shooter out there this season. Neither really has been James Hamilton. They'll make the odd one, but they don't make them consistently. So you got to look at Perro Cameron is the only Chester Jet who's in the league's top 20 in three-point shooting. Tonight, he's made 2 out of 3 behind the arc. That's what he does really well for them. When all those other athletes attack the basket and you collapse your defense, if you kick it out to Perro and he's all by himself, he makes big threes. So far, he's hit 2 of Chester's 3 threes. On the other hand, the Sharks have a lot of three-point shooters. Monaco's 3 of 5 behind the arc, but Nate Reinking's also made a 3. Mike Payne's also made a 3. And if Ian McKinney gets himself wound up, he's probably their best three-point shooter as we take a look at Perro Cameron's three-pointer there.
Yeah. And, of course, everybody on the Sheffield team seems to be able to drop those threes as well. That was Michael Payne there that we just saw.
Well, as I said, they are known as the bomb squad. Michael Payne came off their bench to hit that 3. And, again, Sheffield have 4 points from their bench, 3 right there on that basket by Mike Payne. Chester have no points from their bench, and I don't think you're going to see any three-pointers from Chester's bench either. So, again, the bomb squad, a little bit more depth, more perimeter firepower. As Chris said and I said, they got to shoot it well.
And also the athleticism of the players as well, in particular Leonard Stewart, certainly. I mean, we've seen 2 fantastic dunks from this man.
Well, what is critical about this is an NBA highlight dunk here. Leonard Stewart dunks it on Perro Cameron, posterizes Perro Cameron for his 2nd personal foul.
Absolutely brilliant. There he goes again. The crowd love him. No wonder. Everybody slags him off about his free throws, but let's face it, if he can dunk like that, absolutely fantastic. Tony Garbaletto, of course, is also with us. We'll be hearing more from Billy later in the programme as well, but let's check in with Tony and Simon.
Well, Tony, Chester by 2. Who's the happier coach at this stage?
Well, I guess Robbie is, because his team's 2 points up. He's got some foul trouble, which is a concern for him. Tempo of the game hasn't really been in his favor. His guys haven't really got out on that, you know, that run that we talked about. So I would guess, you know, it's almost neutral. I mean, the fact that he's up by 2 is, you know, is going to make him happy. But I mean, you know, Chris has also got to be happy that he's right there.
When we were talking, you mentioned that Chester are a team that goes on runs and will put quick points on the board. Now, Sheffield have weathered the first storm, but the chances are that storm's going to come again, isn't it?
You know, we only have to look back to 2 weeks ago when Chester played Brian. Brian were 9 or 10 points up at the half and got absolutely blitzed in the first 6 minutes of the game. So I think it's a concern for Chris Finch. They've got to weather that storm. If they're there near the end of the game, in the third at the end of the fourth quarter, they can win this game.
And that's the thing. Sheffield's have got to think they're still in this. 2 points, you know?
Well, you know, they played their game, and what we want to see more of in this second half is more the dribble penetration, more the kick out to the three-point shooters, more three-point shots going in. If that happens for Sheffield, they can win this game, and they've got the belief. Everyone seems to be playing reasonably well. They haven't got too many players off, and they're right there.
Who's your money on at the moment?
I'm still got to go with Chester. You know, I think they've got destiny written all over them. But you know, Sheffield are there, and they've got the players to do it. But at the moment, it looks like it's Chester.
Okay, Tony, we'll hear from you during the second half. Thanks.
Thanks so much, Lee.
Well, will it be the Chester Jets or the Sheffield Sharks who skip off with this trophy tonight? You'll find out after the second half, which is coming up in a couple of minutes. Stay with us.
Bacardi Breezer, now available in grapefruit.
What are you playing at, you idiot? You're our new international striker! 5-0 down, and it's only half-time!
No, Ghost, it's not me. Something's missing.
I know that. There's no talent, commitment, skill.
No, not that. How can I score? You have nothing on the wing. No one feeding from the left, no one feeding from the right.
Speak English, man.
Coach, we need wingers.
Okay, before the second half, we'll all drink Red Bull.
Why's that?
Red Bull gives you wings.
Oh, yeah?
Miss Doran didn't think she could save any more money on her car insurance. We saved her.
£60.
Mr. Patel?
£40.
Mr. Clegg had his insurance with someone else for years. Direct Line saved him
£87.
So, if you want to see if you can save money, call 0870 555 1234 now. If your car insurance has suddenly gone up, call 0870 555 1234 now. Don't just sit there. Call Direct Line now and see how much money you could save.
Snowed under with dandruff? Fructus anti-dandruff shampoo with active fruit concentrate. Garnier Fructus. It's proven. Dandruff disappears. Not a trace of a flake from just 3 washes. Garnier Fructus for hair that shines with all its strength.
This weekend, the 2002 British Superbikes Championship speeds back onto ITV Sport Plus. Steve Hislop leads by 21 points after a double win at Brands Hatch. Can the other riders get back on track at Donington Park? Find out Sunday from 12:30 live on ITV Sport Plus.
Well, welcome back. We're getting ready for the second half here at the Wembley Arena, and Simon O'Rourke is now with Chris Finch.
Chris, what have you been saying to the guys at half-time?
Well, we're pretty pleased where we stand. You know, we fought back. We want to go at the basket a little bit more, and from that, our perimeter game, we got some good looks out there. We knocked some down early, and I think later they just didn't go in. So we're pretty happy where we stand right now. We just got to keep doing the things that we know are going to work.
Yeah, key thing in the first half, they got a lead, but you wouldn't let them get away.
Well, you know, it's that type of game. You know, I think our guys have a lot more character than that, and hopefully we can play 20 minutes now for the title.
Okay, Chris, we're looking forward to the second half. Thank you.
Thank you.
Now, talk me through the theory, Billy, because obviously Chris is down by 2 this year. Last year, as you've just told me, he was up by 9 going into the second half. What do coaches prefer?
Well, I actually like to think about it as omens. You know, I'm a big believer. I'm a superstitious coach. I talked about Robbie Pierre's omen at the start of the game. This could be a good omen for Chris Finch. You saw he was in a positive frame of thinking there. A year ago, he went to the locker room 9 up, and you really, in a big game, don't want to have that big lead because you know the other team is going to be fighting back. So tonight he goes to the locker room 2 down. He's pretty pleased where he is, and he's talking to his team about fighting back and having a big second half. He feels good about where he is right now, and I think he should.
And briefly, what do you think he needs to do to win?
As we've said all along, they've got to shoot the ball well. They've got to keep attacking the basket because Chester are definitely in foul trouble. The more they attack the basket, they're either going to get easy shots or kick it out for open threes.
Yeah. Well, it's that time to check in with our commentators once again because the third quarter is just about to tip off. Let's talk to Andre and Daniel.
Thank you very much, Ali. Yes, indeed. We have 20 minutes of the season left, Andrea Lane. There's one little piece of silverware. I'm sure if they can wrestle it off Billy Mims, he's been clutching it all season long to be dished out. But which way is it going?
I thought you weren't going to put me on the spot today.
I said that before the game. This is halftime.
But I'll tell you what, you got to like how Chester are playing right now because every single run that Sheffield have, Chester have got an answer for it. Now, the problem is, can Sheffield withstand the big burst of scoring that is going to come from the Chester Jets? Because no matter what score it is at halftime, Chester will always come out and rack up a 15 or 10-point scoring run on you quickly.
That is the thing. Can you stop the run? Can you come back after the run? You've got to watch out in the opening few minutes of the third quarter because Tony said they did it against Brighton. They've done it in the past. Usually comes in the third at some stage.
And what that does is that's sort of almost like the dagger to the heart. That's the one that finishes you off. And they play with so much confidence.
Well, we're ready to go then. The second half of the BBL Championship Final 2002. That we will take again, that jump ball, because I don't think
bad toss by Will.
Yeah, I don't think it had got high enough before Leonard Stewart tapped it away. Let's try again. And this time the Jets come down with the ball.
And it's always tough going amongst those trees, tossing the ball up, trying to get the perfect pitch.
Lobbed into Hamilton.
Offensive!
Yes. On James Hamilton. His second offensive, his third in total.
And that was just so obvious. He threw him off the first time, got the rebound, and Nate Rankin standing right there, and that was such an obvious and easy foul for the referee to call.
Yeah, that was, I mean, borderline stupid foul there from James Hamilton.
And this is that zone we're talking about, getting Chester out of that zone, and the best way to do it is by moving the ball, slicing down the lane, and see if you can come up with an easy layup.
Monaco almost came up with an easy steal. The other thing is Scansbury went to the basket. Who stood under the basket? Calvin Davis. What does he do? Step out of the way and let you score, because he's on 3 fouls.
They're so conscious of not picking up that fourth and putting his team on the back foot early.
We saw what happened in the cup final when a Chester Jet fouled out in the third quarter. Their big lead evaporated. They don't have a big lead at the moment. McCord too long on his shot. Oh, Scanterbury couldn't quite reach it. Thomas, a little pull-up, he'll make that all day.
I tell you what, watch out for the little battle going on between Peter Scanterbury and Perot Cameron down there in the low block.
I don't think it's a little battle. Phoenix, offensive
again.
Same play. Exact same play as was at the other end. And that is Justin Phoenix's third foul. Boom.
Yep.
I mean, referee right on the spot. You couldn't ask for a more textbook charge than that.
And
except the one at the other end by Hamilton.
And what it is, you want to go straight up. You want to make the move and go straight up if the defensive player's holding their ground. If you dip that shoulder and make contact, it'll always be an offensive.
Hamilton out to Cameron. Davis stumbles, loses it, gets it out to Cameron. Shot clock is still ticking. And Monaco, with a reaching in foul, is called for his third.
Oh, I'm surprised at that call. Looked like Jeff Monaco had all ball on that. Unfortunate to have the referee blow a foul on that play. Chris Finch showing his obvious frustration on the sideline. Here we go. Dribbles, Jeff Monaco comes.
Where did he have the ball, Andre?
He had the ball, and then Perot Cameron swiveled his body, and then he got a piece of the arm. Foul was called before that, Daniel. You know, I have an explanation for everything.
You will do. And them home court refs you had earlier, too, you were riding them. Oh, no, I wasn't going to mention that game. Cameron along the baseline for 2.
Now, Cameron has had a lot of success this evening driving to the basket. And he shouldn't, because the defensive players of the Sheffield Sharks and the players he's matched up against him are a lot quicker laterally than he is, and they should be able to beat him to that spot, take away that penetrating lane.
Monaco for 3 doesn't go. That's his first since the opening quarter, when he was 3 of 5. Oh, good give and go back to McCord for 2.
So far here, and hopefully for Sheffield, this isn't the beginning of that run we're talking about. Chester, 6 points in a row.
After Sheffield scored the opening basket of the second half. Scantlebury going to work, doesn't go. Is this the run? Chester looking to add to 6 straight, but thrown away. But it's still a Chester ball, and if Chris Finch thinks it's the run, does he? Because
he may want to call a halt to it.
The referee looked like he was about to signal timeout, but obviously there isn't one, so maybe whoever is going to call it cancelled it. Davis, great block by Leonard Stewart.
And this is where Sheffield need to run, take advantage of a fast break opportunity.
Reinking to the finger roll.
And that was well read by Nate Reinking. The ball got pushed back out to him on the transition, and he alertly drives the lane.
Monaco with a little flop, hoping he might get an offensive foul on Thomas.
Just leave him out there. There you go. That's exactly how you play John Thomas. That's exactly how you play him. Stand off him. Lull him into that jump shot. When he goes to take the jump shot, you got to basically get out there and transition, what we call it closeout. Get out there, pressure in the shot, give him a little pressure on the jump shot, and hopefully he'll miss.
0 for 3 today from behind the arc, John Thomas.
But the temptation is to try and go out there and guard him, but Thomas is just too quick.
Reinking for 2, and if the run was coming, it's been stopped by the Sharks, because they've got 4 straight to pull it back to 2.
Just about Nate Reinking's mid-range game. Once again, drives and the high arcing pull-up.
McCord backing down Mike Payne. McCord fires over Payne. John McCord leads all scorers with 18.
Now, Leonard Stewart went down to help, but he couldn't go down there too long because he was guarding Perot Cameron. Realizing that if he kicks the ball back out to Perot, it's going to be 3. The easy way.
Let's try to lob into Stewart. He did well to catch it. Has to come out. Mike Payne for 3, rims out. Hamilton is quickest to it. Cameron Scantlebury really fighting for it. Hamilton with the jump shot doesn't go. Cameron with the rebound.
He wants to push off. He wants to push off because Pete felt that he was pushed off on there for that rebound.
Cameron to McCord. McCord is fouled and 1 for John McCord. He's the first man to the 20-point barrier.
So much patience that the Chester Jets show. What they do is they keep coming after you, and then they come up with something that they want. They get the foul and the N1, and John McCord will go to the line to try and convert the 3-point play.
Leonard Stewart becomes the 5th player to reach the 3 fouls. 3 of them are on his team. 2 of them are on the Jets. Davis and Hamilton. And McCord gets a kind roll. He's got some great numbers on the day, shooting-wise. John McCord from all distances. Hasn't yet let one go from downtown. But as Billy pointed out, he doesn't shoot that many of them. Stewart, good work.
And now James Hamilton got a piece of that basketball. Leonard Stewart able to gather himself, pick up the ball, and come up with that deuce.
Thomas.
Once again, cutting off the penetrating lanes from John Thomas.
They close Cameron out. That left Hamilton open. They did the hard work. They shut down Cameron. They just couldn't get to Hamilton.
Talking rotating out to the shooters, and we're talking about closeouts. Get there in time so you can put enough pressure on the basketball. Good pass.
Great pass to Scantlebury. It was broken up by Cameron and will be a Sheffield ball.
I suspect Sheffield would try to be looking to score on this out-of-bounds play.
McKinney running around the double screen to get it. Oh, almost stolen by Hamilton, but Scantlebury did well.
Sheffield could take advantage of this little 5-on-4 situation.
Reinking's 3 doesn't go. Here comes Chester with McCord. Thomas, Hamilton, back out to Thomas. Thomas, a deep 3, long way out from John Thomas. He hits his first 3 of the game, and it was from about 26 feet.
He just set his feet and knock down the J. And we're talking about closeout, getting out there, putting in the hand in the face of the Chester shooters. And right now, Sheffield not doing a good job. And that run we were speaking about is happening. Chester in front by 11.
A three-point play and a three-pointer. Chris Finch with the timeout.
Are you confused offensively? Huh? Are you tired? Hey, let's run it open. We can get an early reversal. Okay? They're not playing the reversal. We can get an early reversal. I want to push the ball out of him and put it inside earlier. Okay? Shipman? They got one foul. We haven't even gone at them. You guys have got to look to do things instead of just pass. Pete, you got to look to do things. Okay? Down here. Okay, down here. We need to get into them a little bit more. We're hanging back too much. Just get into them a bit more. All right, let's go now. Hey,
it seems to me, coming from that timeout, Chris Finch is just not happy with the aggression of his team, both offensively and defensively.
Now, what happened in the early go in the first two quarters, they made it a point of driving the lanes, putting the pressure on Chester defensively, and were successful at doing it. Now, as he said, the big guys are just quite happy to just pass the ball around and let the guards shoot the basketball. He wants a little bit more action from his 3, 4, and 5 men, and that's his forwards and big men.
Canterbury. Payne trying to get it inside to Stewart. Cameron tried to put him off. Canterbury in there. He's fouled
there you go. That's the
Cameron,
one.
I think it is.
And that's exactly what Chris Finch wants. Penetration on the inside. You've got to dump to Peter Canterbury, who collects the foul from Perot Cameron.
Yep, that'll be his third.
See, good things happen when you go to the basket. And going back to when Brighton Bears played the Chester Jets in the semi-final. They did a good job early of going at them, but they went away from that game plan for the final two periods of the game, and hence that's why they got demolished in the second half.
Pete Canterbury misses for the first time from the line today. Davis. Inside to Hamilton, ripped away by McKinney. Sheffield come down with it. Here comes Nate Reinking for the Sharks. Into Stewart. Stewart. Oh, nice move. Oh, missed the finger roll though. Rebound Cameron stumbling. But Chester come back up with it. They lead by 10 as Hamilton is fouled by McKinney. Oh,
that's got to be one. That's got to be an unsportsmanlike. That has got to be. That has got to be. There is no way that can. Yes, there has to be. No way that it couldn't. And that put, more importantly, that put James Hamilton on his fourth.
James Hamilton foolishly, after getting wrapped up with McKinney, look at that. You're gonna get an unsportsmanlike for that.
And I think what had happened is that both players get tied up, and I thought that he was trying to save him from going into the board. And James just lost it there for a split second, which cost him and cost his team.
The original foul was on Ian McKinney on the shot, which was right.
Yep.
And then Hamilton just didn't like the follow-on to that. And oh, in fact, I think they've called a double intentional.
You've got to be kidding me, fellas.
So Ian McKinney is
terrible.
Intentional.
That is terrible. I'm really appalled at Will, because I have a tremendous amount of respect for Will Jones as a referee. But to call that a double intentional was terrible, because there was no retaliation from Ian McKinney whatsoever. He realized it was a foul. He was tangled up. He tried to step away. James was the one that made the 2 hits.
You see, for me,
2 hits.
Yeah. For me, James Hamilton's lucky to stay in the game for doing that.
Precisely, and to call that...
I think McKinney fouled him. Yep, that's fair enough. I agree with that. I don't agree
that is terrible.
That McKinney should have been called for an unsportsmanlike.
And this is a bad situation, because right now that could have been 2 free throws and sideline possession.
Yeah. Well, Tony G, you're down there on the baseline. You must have had a better view than anybody else. What did you make of that play?
Well, I mean, I got to agree with you guys. I love James to death, but I mean, you've got to leave the court for pushing someone down to the court like that. It was almost a punch. And to be honest with you, This is like, it's either going to be one way or the other here. This is either going to rally Sheffield to be the aggressive and the team that has to come out to win the game, or it's just going to blow them away and Chester are going to come on another run, and this is going to be a 20-point win for Chester. I don't know which one it's going to be, but there's no question that James shouldn't be on the floor, you know, after that play.
I have to say I agree with Tony Gorbelletto there. I know it's the championship final, and referees, you know, they don't like to throw somebody out of the championship final, but for me, I tell you what, I would consider myself very lucky if I was James Hamilton, get away with only an unsportsmanlike foul than on that, and even more lucky that Ian McKinney was given one as well.
Exactly.
For taking it in the chops.
And I tell you what, right now, this game is getting a lot of emotion being shown by both teams out there, especially Sheffield, because they feel hard done by now. Sheffield need to forget about this.
Bernard Stewart just picked up foul number 4 on that play.
Yeah, Sheffield really need to forget about this and just get back to playing basketball. It's happened. Let's move on. We've got 13 minutes and 42 seconds left to actually try and win the championship game.
John McCord, the game's leading scorer, misses his first from the line.
And that's a big blow for Sheffield also, with Leonard picking up his 4th foul, because I tell you what, he has really made his presence felt on the inside.
Misses them both. There's Hamilton on the bench, and he's lucky to be on the bench and not in the locker room. Inside
Good
to
down.
Phoenix. Oh, missed it. Will try again and gets it at the second attempt.
So here we go. Sheffield now realizing we've got to attack them. They're in foul trouble, and they're not going to try and get another one of their big men on 4 fouls.
Thomas is short. Rebound, Ryan King. Scantlebury stumbled for a second, gets it out to McKinney for 3. Yes! McKinney in the corner strokes his first 3 of the game.
Now that answers Tony Gorbelletto's question. Is it going to fire him up, or is it going to get Chester into a 20-point lead? And I think so far he's fired up the shots.
Certainly fired Ian
Leonard
McKinney
needs to be careful so he doesn't pick up that 5th.
Yeah, Mike Payne sat on the bench. I assume he's coming in for Stewart, but they can't bring him in until the game stops. Phoenix dumps down to Stewart. Stewart, close in, misses, goes after his own board and will not quite save it. He stepped on the line.
And this is the dead ball that Sheffield were begging for. Actually, it was a timeout by Chester Jets also, so Sheffield will be able to make their substitution, not allowing Leonard Stewart to pick up his 5th.
3 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. We've seen it all in this period, a bit of everything. Robbie Pierce with a timeout. His Jets lead by 5.
Now, shot selection. Shot selection. This is not a one-on-one, free-for-all. This is ball movement. Every time we go inside to John, it's a basket. We don't need really tough shots. If you kick it out and your feet are set and you're wide open, you knock it down. But it's not, we don't have to take tough shots. Where every time you go in the post, he flops and he calls it. You have to adjust. Okay? Okay? Now, it's our ball. We're going to go down and we're going to execute, and we're going to dictate. We are going to dictate. Let's go.
Well, we said before the game, one of the keys is Sheffield do need to shoot the ball well here. Their free throws have been horrendous, but the rest of it, 58% very good, 35% respectable.
Yeah, I mean, they're not, obviously the open looks haven't come as easy for them as the game's gone on. However, field goal percentage, 58%, you can't argue with that.
Chester Jets putting up numbers you would expect from a team that is so free score.
And I tell you what, Chester are so good. They see runs and they just know how to execute and get by those runs. It was a great time out there by Robbie Pierce to get his team settled.
McCord spinning into trouble and losing it. Sheffield coming up with it. Hamilton is back in the game, by the way. He's on 4. And I'm sure the Sheffield fans will be very pleasant to him whenever he gets the ball. Ryan King penetrates, goes up, blocked by McCord, clean. Away comes Thomas. Thomas is too quick for McKinney, and he lays it in.
Yeah, I mean, McKinney could have fouled in the open floor, but instead of just making things escalate, that was a smart move by McKinney. Just go ahead and let him have the 2 points.
Phoenix spins baseline quickly. Good strong move, but he walked with it, says the official on the end line.
You're talking about Chester, or you talk about Sheffield weathering the storm. Chester weather every single storm. They weather every single run that is thrown at them.
Thomas for three, way off the mark, an air ball, but Cameron was there for the rebound.
One of those being in the right position at the right time.
Back out to 9 now. Ryan King, Mike Payne, inside to Scantlebury. He's guarded by Davis. He's in the triple team, gets it out to Payne with the quick release three, doesn't go. Got tipped out by Phoenix, but only as far as Hamilton. McCord wisely slowing it down. He's been here before. He knows what the championship final's all about. Now he attacks and loses the ball off Mike Payne.
Right now, Chris Finch upset. He felt that the ball came in off Chester, went out of bounds off a Chester player.
Hamilton being booed by the Sheffield fans.
Roger Harrison thought different.
Cameron doesn't see the clock. It's about to expire. Hamilton doesn't see it either. Off. Did he get it off? It doesn't matter. It's an air ball. A 24-second violation on the Chester Jets. Nobody paying attention to the clock.
Nice, good move here. Substitution. Richard Windle comes into the game. Get Peter Scantlebury an extra 58 minutes blow.
58
seconds, excuse me, blow.
And give you some big man presence inside in Windle as well. Good spin from Ryan King. Nice, pretty play from Nate Ryan King.
Great spin, high arcing shot, get it out over the defender.
Thomas along the baseline into a double team, throws it to McCord. Sheffield fans thought he might have stepped out of bounds, then they left him alone. Thomas trying to draw the contact, didn't get anything. Here comes Ryan King. Ryan King going strong. Offensive foul called on Nate Ryan King. And that is Ryan King's third. Cameron taking the stand.
And that was a good transition defense by Perot Cameron. Managed to chase back, beat him to the spot, hold his ground, collect the charge.
Sheffield are over the limit, but that was team control, so it'll be end-line possession for the Chester Jets rather than 2 free throws. There are 21 seconds left. They can use them all.
Chester definitely going for the last shot. Clock ticking down.
This could be a big stop for Sheffield. There's a big difference between 7 and 9 or 10. Windle jumps out to the double team. He's back to Cameron. Cameron with the shot on the buzzer, rims out. Hamilton will throw up a prayer, doesn't go. Phoenix, the length of the court. Not quite, it wasn't that far away there from Justin Phoenix, but an eventful third quarter comes to an end, Andre.
Yeah, nothing but excitement so far. And what I was saying about Chester doing a great job of keeping Sheffield at arm's length. Now, how Sheffield can stop Chester from scoring is basically stopping the penetrating lanes of the Chester Jets. As we're going to look here from the beginning of the play, we've got a penetration, big move here from Nate Reiking. And basically, they're doing a real good job of getting to the paint, but also Chester on the other end of the floor doing a good job getting inside the paint, creating stuff off the dribble and coming up with the easy scores.
Well, the Chester Jets are 10 minutes from destiny, 10 minutes from the sweep, but can they hang on, or will the Westfield Sharks Sheffield come back? Find out with the fourth quarter when we return.
Right, look, I feel right. Right. Look, I'll tell you where the diamonds are. They're in a house by the Van Santon Canal.
Stop.
Number.
What's with the rush to spill the beans? You should wait a little. Let us rough you up a bit. You never know. You might not crack. In Holland, we don't rush. We brew the growls very slowly. To die for. Now, this is Mr. Tickley. Take his trousers off.
Please.
Grolsch, we only let you drink it when it's ready.
Oh, watch it, Baz. Phew, you look like you're doing all right.
All right, our kid, yeah. Barclay Jacobs unlocked my pension and got me tax-free cash.
Unlocked? Your pension?
Yeah, if you're over 50 and have a pension you're not currently receiving, you could get a tax-free cash sum and or a pension now or later.
180. I didn't know you could do that.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
So, if you're over 50, call 0800 141 141 for a free guide to unlock your pension.
This year, there's one film that'll drive you over the edge.
You really should get that fixed.
Get what fixed?
That tail light.
Rolling Stone says, if you're looking to have your nerves fried,
Who's the pretty girl?
this is your ticket to ride.
Go, go, go! Come on!
Roadkill.
Come on, Jets, let's make history. That's what the Chester fans want to see. They are 10 minutes away from the sweep, becoming only the second team in BBL history to sweep. But they must overcome the one side that has beaten them 3 times this year, the Sheffield Sharks. Sheffield going with their man on 4, Leonard Stewart, as are Chester, James Hamilton.
I tell you what, the last thing Sheffield want now is to let Chester rack up points when they've already established a 7-point lead.
Monaco going quickly, dumps out to Stewart. Stewart, Davis gets out of the way because he's on 3. Leonard Stewart, who is his team's leading scorer on 16.
And 4 fouls included, so both big men have to play very smart at the defensive end.
Davis, charging foul! Yep. That'll be foul number 4 on Calvin Davis. Wave off the score as well. So now Davis and Hamilton on 4.
And that ball, Robbie Pearce out of his box onto the halfway line and onto the floor. And an obvious charge there. Mike Payne beating him to the spot, holds his ground. And Calvin Davis picks up number 4.
Mike Payne round to Monaco. Monaco dumps off to Stewart. Stewart dances. Oh, he winged it, but he gets his own rebound. Comes through the trap. Oh, he should have scored. Lay it in.
Yeah, when in doubt.
John Thomas shook his man out of his shoes, but Phoenix did enough to put him off.
That was good transition defense by Justin Phoenix to get back to stop that shot. Both players, James Hamilton and Justin Phoenix, slow to get down the floor.
Phoenix, his shot is short. And McCord and Thomas were fighting with it more than anything Phoenix was doing. Cameron is fouled by McKinney long before the shot.
Well, I'll tell you something. Perot Cameron's beating everybody off the dribble today. As you see here, fast break, puts the ball on the floor and beats a smaller, should be quicker McKinney. Draws himself another foul and sticks McKinney on his 4th.
Yeah, and now you look back to that double unsportsmanlike where McKinney ends up with 2 fouls when he probably only deserved 1. Cameron for 3 doesn't go. McCord, long arms, tips it up and then pulls it down. Davis out to Thomas.
Leonard Stewart obviously guarding the outside player in Perot Cameron. Hopefully that should...
John McCord, has he missed one from 16 feet yet today? I can't remember it if he has.
Yeah, he's just spotting up and he's just knocking down the shots when Chester needs them. Like I said, just keeping Sheffield at arm's length. Just making them do that little bit extra to get back in the game.
Payne cans a 3. Pulls it down to just 4 points with 8 minutes to go in the championship final.
And there's the extra one, filling it from outside.
Inside, John McCord out to Cameron for 3. He cans a 3. 7:40 to go. Tony Golfoletto, who do you think wants to win it most?
Well, I mean, you know, you've got to look to think that Chester, I mean, both teams want to win it. It's just who is going to have that most desire. The one other factor I wanted just to bring in is that this game's played with a 2-week break. And a lot of the times, you know, teams can become unsynced. They can be definitely unconditioned coming into this game. So it's a willpower game. And you've just seen Mr. Willpower himself, Piero Cameron, coming up with the 2 big plays.
Yes, indeed. Just a slight delay in the game as Calvin Davis seemed to injure himself as he went down. Piero Cameron, 18 points, 9 assists.
I tell you what, he's...
9 rebounds, 6 assists.
Yeah, he's having a phenomenal game. He's doing it inside, outside, and he's doing it on the defensive end as well, getting back. And what's impressed me tonight is just how he's beaten people and drawn fouls off the dribble.
Pete Scanterbury getting a little piece of that shot from Calvin Davis. Be an end-line ball to the Jets. Here's John Thomas. Oh, good spin. Oh, what a play from John Thomas. Span Nate Rankin, drew the foul, and then with plenty of mustard, as you'd say, Dre, off the glass.
Yeah, he put a lot of backspin on that shot. draws the foul. Here we go, penetrate, lanes cut off, spins, lanes cut off, draws the contact, and the presence of mind to just flip it off the backboard when he hears the whistle. And more importantly, that sticks Jeff Monaco on 4 fouls. So that's 3 of the Sheffield starters on 4 fouls.
5 guys in foul trouble. 5 guys on 4 fouls here in the championship final. And in some ways, you need the foul count high if you're going to beat Chester. You've got to get them into foul trouble and hope you can survive it. Scanterbury to Stewart.
And I'd like to see Peter Scanterbury really try and stamp his authority on the inside.
I'd like to see anybody try and stamp their authority inside, because you got Hamilton and Davis on 4. You got to take it in, and then the other way, you know, it's the guards who are on 4 with the exception of Stewart.
So you'll probably see a lot of penetrations here from John Thomas.
Cameron, another 3. That one's long. Scanterbury, did he save it? Yes, he did. Monaco has to save it to Stewart. Good hustle play from both of the Sharks players.
And there's the willpower that Coach Garbaletto's talking about. The will just to save that ball on the inbounds.
Stewart out to Reinking. Reinking dumping it inside. He might chase down his own pass. It'll be a jump ball between Nate Reinking and James Hamilton. You'd expect Hamilton to win this, but he has struggled with an ankle problem. You never know.
And I don't remember Nate Reinking being able to jump through the roof, but hey, you never know. He might have a little bit more jets than James Hamilton right now.
He gets up pretty high on his little floating jump shot there.
Probably a good contest with the handicap of James Hamilton.
No, non-contest.
It's a good thing we didn't bet on it.
Yeah, it is. John Thomas, round the screen of Cameron. McCord wants it. McCord really has done an awful lot for his team today.
Good defensive
his
job by
rebound. Thomas for 3, doesn't go. Rebound Leonard Stewart. Reinking penetrates to Mike Payne for 3. Yes, Mike Payne again from behind the arc. He's 3rd of the game.
And this also applies to Chester. You've got to be aware of where the shooters are and get out there and challenge them. You can't afford to let Mike Payne just stand out there by himself.
McCord going strong, doesn't go. Cameron is there.
And I tell you what, when Sheffield are making a run, then something simple happens. An offensive rebound for Chester, and they push themselves back out to another 7-point lead.
Stewart dumps it to Scanterbury. Scanterbury, no good on that shot.
Missed opportunities by Peter Scanterbury on the inside, getting the ball exactly where he wants it, unable to connect.
5 minutes and some change to go in the championship final. 78-71 to the team who've dominated the season. Can they sweep? That is the one question everybody's been asking. And right now, it looks as if they can.
Yeah, as they bounce out to a 9-point lead, and Sheffield really need to try and get this game back into manageable points.
They need to attack the basket and get the guys fouled out of the game.
Exactly. Mike Payne takes advantage and gets a lucky roll in.
Stewart, I think,
helped in by Leonard Stewart.
Yeah, they'll count that for Leonard Stewart.
Now, there's one thing doing it on the offensive end, but now they've got to go back down and defend. Box out, challenge shots, don't get sucked in on penetration, and more importantly, take the penetrating lane against John Thomas. Don't guard him so closely, because if you do, this will happen. You've got to back off that guard. Really have to back off that guard, take away that penetrating lane.
John McCord, we've been talking about foul problems all game. That is John McCord's first foul.
And he's had a great game, scoring 27 points.
12 of 18 shooting, 4 assists, 6 boards.
3 out of 6 from the free throw line.
Jeff Monaco's shot doesn't go. Rebound, Phoenix. Phoenix goes up.
Strong take from Justin Phoenix. Perot Cameron behind him trying to swipe it away, but took it up strong to the backboard. Chester still have that 7-point lead and on course to make history.
Thomas's shot doesn't go. Leonard Stewart with the rebound. Oh, he's thrown it away to John Thomas. McCord to the finger roll, and that you cannot do with 4 minutes to go in the championship game.
I mean, you look back at costly mistakes. Sheffield lose this basketball game, that will have to be one of them that's highlighted.
Phoenix going strong. That's what they got to do if they're going to get back into it.
No, but Daniel, they're doing exactly what they're supposed to do in the offensive end, but defensively, they came up with the great stop, but in the outlet pass, lack of concentration, the unforced turnover.
Thomas round the screen to Davis. Davis is fouled by Scantlebury, but it wouldn't go.
Justin Phoenix, long time coming off the floor, comes up hobbling. I don't know if he's hurt his ankle.
That's the foul on the arm. Well, he's got 3 minutes and 13 points to find his team 7 points, 8 points for the win. Chris Finch has called a timeout. Let's see what he's got for us.
Are you all right, Jeff? 5, 4, 3, are you all right? All right, let's go. Leonard's in here. Let's run. Let's run now. Let's put it into Leonard down inside, okay? Run 4 out, get a quick swing. Maybe a screen across for Leonard down inside, okay? Davis has got 4 fouls. We just got to go up and finish in the basket. Look for the kick out if it's on, okay? If you got 2, okay? Got it? We're all right. We are okay. We just got to keep going to the basket, kicking out, right? Defensively, don't just let them do what they want to do. They can't just go to the pick and roll. We got to hedge and recover that thing. Hey, believe me now, come on. Hey, we've come back so many times. Let's go, a couple more. 1, 2, 3.
I love that timeout there. Really good timeout from Chris Finch.
And he's talking about positive things that they need to do. And he's telling his players that, hey, we just dump it inside, get a little bit more movement on the outside, and get ourselves back in this basketball game. But a very well, calm, collected timeout that he took.
There's Justin Phoenix hobbling to the bench, as Andre pointed out, but he is, has he hobbled? No, he hasn't come back out.
I think this physio was just spraying something on the ankle, I believe. He isn't.
It looks like his tiny shoelace is back up, though.
That's the thing.
There he is, yeah.
You got 3 minutes and 13 seconds left in a championship game. This isn't the time to get injuries, and this isn't the time to feel pain.
You've got a big, long summer to be icing that ankle. Get out there now and do what you can for the team. Calvin Davis calmly at the line.
I'll tell you what, if he goes ahead and wins this basketball game, what Robbie Pierce has done is turned coaching philosophies on its head.
I think he's already done that, win or lose. Go inside, said Coach Finch. Let's see if they do. Mike Payne.
And that's what they lose with Justin Phoenix being out in a game, that extra body that can put the ball on the floor and drive past defenders and be effective.
Scantlebury there's Payne in the corner for 3, big shot, and he hits it. Huge shot from Mike Payne, they really needed it. He delivered.
And I'll tell you what, I had flashbacks when Mike Payne hit that 3-point shot when I was assistant coach for the London Towers, and he played for Birmingham Bullets at the time, and he also did the same thing, hit a big 3-pointer to get them in the game and win.
That was the last time a team could have swept as well. Davis's shot doesn't go, rebound Monaco. Big couple of minutes still to go. Monaco steps back, finds Stewart on the trail. Oh! But it was too far away for him to dunk it.
I'll tell you what.
Just lay it in, son. Thomas lost his feet.
Oh, no way! I'll tell you what, Leonard would have been better off just driving that ball and just taking the easy one because he had it, but went for the spectacular play, missed it, and more importantly, he's come up hobbling. It's the last thing Chris Finch wants. Oh, yeah, he's way out of his box. We've got a technical foul being called here.
Robbie Pierce miles out of his boxes. Here's another look at the play.
Whoa.
He took off a long way. So there was a technical foul.
Now what Robbie Pierce was saying, it should have been a charge, but we talk about that imaginary semicircle underneath the basket, and Perot Cameron was well inside that.
I'm not quite sure if there was a technical foul on Robbie, why it's not shot. Maybe the 2 fouls cancel each other out. Maybe that was it. Anyway, 2 minutes to go in the championship final. 6-point game, Payne again for 3. No, not this time.
Right now, we got ourselves a very close basketball game. Sheffield need to get themselves a defensive stop. Chester, on the other hand, needs to score.
Thomas kicks out to Hamilton. Hamilton, huge for 3. James Hamilton strokes it.
I tell you what,
Monaco.
Big 3, and Monaco gets the acrobatic shot to 4, bringing the lead back to 7. And it just seems to be at that magical 7 for Chester right now.
James Hamilton.
Good hands.
for Ryan. Stewart comes up with it, gets it back to Monaco. They need a quick score, though. Monaco to Ryan King. Ryan King penetrates. Ryan King off the glass. It doesn't go. Rebound Cameron, and Ryan King is quick to foul him.
Right now, shot didn't go for Nate Ranking, and what he smartly did was foul Perot Cameron to stop the fast break of Chester Jets. Last thing you want to do is give him an easy two-point shot. See here with a high arcing shot off the backboard, didn't get the lucky bounce, but alertly fouls Perot Cameron to stop the fast break.
And Monaco trying to come up with the steal, commits the foul. That's the team's fifth. Is it his fifth? Yeah, it's his fifth as well. So he's out of the game. Well, he started the first quarter hard. He was 3 of 5 from behind the arc for 11 points. He hasn't done much offensively since then, Jeff Monaco. And he goes to the bench on 13.
And I have to say that we are looking at history in the making. I cannot see anything happen.
Robbie Pearce with a timeout. Let's hear it.
Tell you what we're going to do. Listen. If he scores the second foul shot, we're going to go full court, man-to-man, denial. For one possession. For one possession. Now, I don't want you picking your men up in our fucking court.
Well, I seem to remember 12 months ago, Billy Mims using a timeout with a minute to go with his team in a similar position to this, to profess to his team what a great job they've done. Here they were, they'd come from nowhere it seemed, to win the championship final. Robbie Pearce, ever the pessimist, is still coaching his way through. He doesn't quite believe it's done yet.
Yeah, and that's
but it's a big ask for Sheffield from here.
I tell you what, it needs some big shots and some big stops and some luck to go Sheffield's way for to deny Chester their 4th championship of the season.
Well, the Chester fans are already celebrating. They're not quite as pessimistic as Rob. Interesting, though, coming with full court man-to-man defense just to throw them out of their set. That's quite clever, though. I like that.
And also, he's got fouls to give, and he realizes that, too. He's got 2 fouls to give, which means even if he fouls on the open floor, Sheffield do not get extra shots at the free throw line.
Well, I must confess, post-Bosman, I said you couldn't sweep. I said it was impossible to sweep post-Bosman.
Yeah, you said that to me earlier on this year, yeah.
And I'm looking like I'm eating my words now.
And right now, Sheffield need to get some quick shots up and some stops.
The quick three doesn't go. And Phoenix tries to get a foul, and they're all trying to get a foul. They can't even get a foul here, Sheffield. Ryan King did. Nate Reinking has fouled out of the game.
Well, I'll tell you what, this game has literally gone down to the wire. Both teams scrapping, playing hard. And Sheffield pretty much threw everything they could, including the kitchen sink, at the Chester Jets. And Chester, once again, find a way. And like I've said many times before, this has got to be destiny.
Yep, certainly does. There have been plenty of times in the knockout stages of competitions this season where Chester looked like they might just be getting knocked out. But they found a way. No matter what, they found a way to win. And you can't knock their record this season. Fantastic. They just kept on coming. Despite the injuries, despite anything thrown in their way, they just kept on coming. Jet wash. They've got the signs up already.
You gotta like that one.
And there's a quick foul, but really now it's just ticking it down. We are 38.4 seconds away from witnessing, for only this 3rd time in BBL history, a sweep. One team dominating.
2 obviously done by the Kingston team.
Kingston team, they won 11 trophies through
2 seasons.
Through 3 seasons. So that's 11 of the 12. And that's what Robbie's got to strive for now, 11 in 3 seasons. But it's been a fantastic season for the Chester Jets. As I say, they've weathered everything thrown at them.
And you just couldn't see you just couldn't see it ending any other way, because everything that's happened to Robbie Pears and his Chester Jets throughout the season, everybody has said, well, they can't last, they can't play through this, they can't play through that, they can't play without this body on the floor, they can't play without that body on the floor. And lo and behold, four trophies later.
They can play any which way you want. There just seems no way to stop them. That's the one thing you can't do, is stop the Chester Jets, because although we've made a lot of Sheffield beating Chester 3 times, Chris Finch waves it off and says, let's just tick this down. The Chester fans, the songs are starting to be sung for them. The time is running down. I think they might have to shoot one, because they might get a violation if they don't. Well, I'll tell you, fans to their feet, because the 2002 BBL champions are the same team that won the Northern Conference, the National Cup, the BBL trophy. The Chester Jets have swept the BBL season.
And not only have they swept the BBL season, they have won all the trophies, all the accolades, the MVP of the league. They've won the coach of the league. Where are they going to put all these trophies, Daniel?
They're going to need themselves a bigger cabinet, I tell you. But credit to Chris Finch and Sheffield. They got here, they played hard all through the season, and in some ways, you know, any other season they would have ended up with the silverware, but they were just in the shadow of Chester this year.
Yeah, Chester just played phenomenal. Like I said, they've overcome every single obstacle, and you've got to give a lot of credit, because those 5 guys stood up in front of TV cameras and said, we are going to take 4 trophies this year. And that was before they won their first one. That's what you call confidence.
Went on record before the cup final and said, we are going to win all 4. He was true to his word, and he's had a sensational game here tonight. John McCord, twice a loser in championship final, 31 points off 13 and 19 shooting. He wasn't going to be a loser tonight, John McCord.
No, he wasn't going to be denied his 4th trophy and his BBL championship.
Well, Robbie Pears is there somewhere talking to Simon.
Robbie, congratulations, you've done it.
Yeah, it's amazing. I can't believe it. It's going to take time to sink in.
Down to the wire again, but it always looked like you had the upper hand in that game.
Yeah, I was very pleased, because, you know, we made a run, we went 9 up and they brought it back. We made another run, they brought it back. I felt as though we were controlling the game.
What does it feel now you've won the lot?
Oh, it's incredible. I just can't put it into words.
Enjoy it.
Thank you very much.
Well, it is one of those things. It's hard to actually realize what you've achieved. Perhaps tomorrow or Monday or something, whenever the hangover finishes for Robbie Pears, he'll actually realize what he's done.
And not only that, notice in that interview, he's always got something cheeky to say. He's always relaxed and very, you know, cynical. But now it looks like it's finally hit him that he's achieved, along with his team, the impossible.
And he's done it, you know, and he's done it over a few years, turning it round as the Sheffield Sharks go up and get their medals now. And Pete Scantlebury, for the 3rd time, a runners-up medal. It's the one thing he hasn't won, Pete Scant.
He retires next year, and hopefully next year will be his chance. Justin Phoenix, the 2nd time he's reached the final, and it's the 2nd time he's lost in 3 years.
And Sheffield must wonder about this Wembley hoodoo. They keep coming in, they keep losing.
It's like the omen. They do it just enough to get to the Final Fours as it used to be, or just enough to get into the final game, but just cannot turn the corner and get over that hump.
Nate Reinking. And this is really hard for the guys who were here like Nate last year, to be having to go through this again 12 months on. It's horrible.
Not only that, it's like, this is the last game of the season.
Yeah, you've got
all 3 months off, and that goes around in your mind so many times. And the guys will find it very hard to actually sit and watch this tape.
Richard Windle goes up. Leonard Stewart is the last man. A great game for Leonard. 18 points, 11 boards. Really had a super game.
I thought he really stamped his authority inside the lane, which is what Sheffield needed. But it just came down to a matter of Chester just had too many answers for Sheffield.
Well, Chris Finch takes his little memento, but these occasions are all about winners, and now we turn our attention to the winners. And not just of this, the sweep. Unbelievable. It seemed like it wasn't possible. Hamilton's got his camera out just to remember this. 4 titles in one season, but this is the biggest of them all. The BBL Championship.
And as you said earlier on with somebody holding the placard, it has been a jet was in the year 2001-2002.
James Hamilton will go up to receive the BBL Championship trophy from the chairman of the BBL, Devin Rowledge. He poses for the cameras. He should know the routine now. He's been through it that many times.
But this is the first time he's been through it here, and obviously he really is going to savor the moment.
And now the teams get their medals. Calvin Davis, a double-double with 12 points and 11 rebounds. Great game.
Yeah, he basically did a lot for the team, basketball team, knocked down shots from the outside, rebounded well, and did just enough once again to help out on the inside, especially when his two counterparts were in foul trouble.
Dave Gardner there getting his hand on the championship trophy. Funny thing Dave said earlier this week is, I've been playing the game for 20 years, and yet I retired last year. I had to come back because Mike Red got injured. Here is Mike Red, who broke his leg. You can see he's recovered from that, but not fit enough to play. He says, I come back because Mike Red's injured, and I've won more trophies this year than I had in the previous 19.
And not only that, Dave Gardner, along with Peter Scanterbury, is the only one to never have won this trophy, and now he's got this medal to add to his collection.
He's got his set. Here's the player of the year, John Thomas. What an acquisition, what a rookie season.
Oh, he's played extremely well. Everybody's tried throwing all kinds of defenses to try and stop this man, and it's also,